my name is Brittany and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys like beauty or fashion or hair tutorials, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that way you can be notified every single time that I post. Before we begin this video, I do want to address the issues that I was having before. I know that most of my videos were looking fuzzy or blurry and you could see like a ring spot around me, and some of the sound in my videos wasn't working towards the end. I think that I have corrected all of those problems. If you can see me clearly, please leave a heart down below so that way I know that you can see me and that the quality is better. And I promise you guys to work a little bit harder on the videos and make sure that I watch them multiple times so that way they're good. Sometimes when I do transfer the video to YouTube, it cuts out part of my sound at the end for whatever reason, but I am really trying hard to fix those issues. Today I have a very special video for you. I actually did an Ulta haul. I asked you guys last week what were some of your favorites. A lot of you gave me trending products that have been some of the YouTube favorites for several years. So I picked up some stuff that you guys might know about, you might not know about. I do have a brand new palette that I'm super excited to share with you. If you would like to see that, then just stay tuned. Okay guys, so I have already went ahead and primed my skin with the Greens by Pharmacy moisturizer and also the Luminous Putty Primer, which you know that I love to use. And now we are going to go into one of the new items. And sorry if you keep seeing like this line right here on my skin. I am sitting in my living room. As you can see, my son's little toys in the background because he has taken over my room right now to watch cartoons. Anyway, so we're just going to ignore that. I went into Ulta and I was looking for a new foundation to try out for you guys, and I found the Juvias Place I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. Now this is a foundation that I have been wanting to try. It is 1 fluid ounce, but it looks like a smaller package, but it's good because it comes in a squeezy tube so you can squeeze everything out. And I got this in the shade Cario 600, which is a lighter shade. So I'm trying to match my skin a little bit more for what it is and not what I expect it to be, because I am going through foundations pretty fast at this point because I work a lot. And so I want something that's not going to look too off. So hopefully this one works out. This retails for $20, but it was on sale for $14.50 at my Ulta. So I'm going to start with the foundation brush, and I am just going to squeeze a little bit out on the brush. And then I am going to go ahead and do that on my face. Let me grab my hair. So I'm going to dot it on my neck and then all over my face as well. I did ask a question on Instagram and Facebook trying to get your opinion on what your favorite products from like an Ulta or more expensive products that you actually like. However, I didn't get that many responses on there. I know I got Tarte Shape Tape, which I absolutely love, the e.l.f. concealer, and I've already found a dupe for that, so I just can't see spending like $29 on a concealer when I already have one. And you guys know that I definitely want to try, so if it's something that I have never tried before, or maybe if you have something that's not really necessarily something that's been hyped up on YouTube, I would love to check it out. Any of your new product favorites, definitely leave me a comment below and let me know what you recommend. All right, and now that that's pretty covered, I'm gonna go ahead and just blend with a beauty blender. And this is looking so smooth on my skin. Let me look up close. Because normally with like a lighter foundation that actually matches my skin tone, I don't typically like those because I want to look a little bit more tan, and they tend to show all of the real texture on my skin, whereas like a darker foundation will kind of mask that. But I barely put anything on this brush and it has blended out absolutely everywhere. And feels very lightweight, but it seems to be pretty much full coverage. So yeah, it's like a little spotty just because my brush is not super clean right now. But other than that, I mean, it pretty much covered everything, which is amazing. Let me see what this says about it. It does say that it is a full coverage foundation, so it is supposed to cover up everything. And I think that their claim is right. So I also typically don't like matte foundations because they are very drying on my skin, especially during the winter time. And I am not seeing any dry patches or spots, so it does feel like a satin that maybe dries down more matte. It doesn't seem like a real true drying matte. And it did say velvety matte magic foundation, so I feel like that velvety term is definitely true. And I'm pretty impressed, honestly, just by my first impressions. So everything is pretty covered. I will say that I can still see my dark circles through this foundation. However, I put it on a very light amount. Like usually when I'm using a full coverage foundation, I will put a little bit more up under here, but I have a brand new concealer to try out with you. So I don't want to do that, and I want to see how this concealer works and give it a fair shot. So this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Longwear Concealer, and I got this in the shade 120 Light Vanilla, which in their original like foundation, I do like the shade Vanilla. It's a little bit yellow for me, so I do like that they have a light vanilla now. And I'm going to start by putting a little bit right here, highlighting down the nose, on my upper lip, on the chin, and then I'm gonna dip back in. This smells like paint thinner. It reminds me of the Wet n Wild foundation, the liquid foundation, and I'm not a fan of that smell because I think if you are sensitive to smells, that could definitely make your eyes water, which mine are known for doing anyways, and mess up a possibly really good like eyeshadow look. I do already feel like a burning sensation, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out using my beauty blender, and I am gonna go for the top of the forehead and then all the way down because I want the eyes to have the most coverage. And we are blending out and then back in, so that way it does cover but it doesn't make it too cakey. That concealed pretty well. It is like a shade lighter than my foundation, so you will have like that white spot underneath, especially if you don't set with powder. But I'm gonna blend this portion out and then I'll be back to tell you what I think. Okay, so now that that's had time to dry down a little bit, I am going to be using the Fit Me Matte and Poreless Pressed Powder. Now, when I was younger, and this is in the shade 128 Warm Nude because they didn't have like a light medium shade, which is what I normally use in the loose powder. When I was younger, I would always get the MAC Pressed Powder foundation, and it would just make my skin look so good and so snatched. I did not have as dry of skin as I have now, so we'll see how this turns out today. But I'm just gonna take a big powder brush, and I'm not sure what like company this brush is from. I just got it in an old BoxyCharm box. So I'm gonna go ahead and powder the neck. I have been doing my face makeup first lately because I haven't experienced a lot of fallout with the eyeshadow palettes that I do use. They're pretty good. So anytime that I use the ColourPop shadows, I do have quite a bit of fallout. So I will do my eyes first then, but I think we'll be okay for today. I like to take my brush and stipple it in, pressing everything in first, and then I will go back in and brush away any of the excess makeup. You just want to make sure that it's on there And because we had that wet base at first, you want to make sure there's no like dry spots or wet spots that are left over before you start swirling, because if you just go in and swirl, it doesn't look as good. Okay, so now that I have that all pressed in the way that I like, I am gonna go in with my powder sponge from Real Techniques, and I'm just gonna get those hard to reach spots and make sure that everything is covered. And I do like my powder just like a shade darker because my face was looking pretty white, honestly, and it was almost too light for my skin. I mean, I do like a little bit of a tan on my face, and even though like my neck is a little bit whiter, I don't really think that people notice that much. I think that's like a celebrity issue, not really like an in-person issue. And I did pick up a new Real Techniques foundation sponge and a powder sponge while I was at Ulta. It is only around $9 for both of them, and I think that's the better deal since they're like $5 a piece. You can save if you get both of them together. And the Milani concealer and this was both under $9. So this is actually pretty good. I'm pretty impressed. Let me take a up close look. It says matte and poreless. I can still see some pores, so I guess it just depends on how big your pores actually are. So my face looks pretty matte though, but I can still see stuff shining through. So I would say their claims for poreless is not true. I do feel like a tightening effect on my face, so it might be helping my pores go down a little bit, but you can definitely still see them. So if you have really big pores like on your nose or right here, I don't think that that's going to cover completely. I think that you might need to go in with a pore filling primer first. I really like the matte putty primer from e.l.f. or you can use the poreless primer by Benefit. That's super famous. It's like trending everywhere. Next, I am gonna go in and do my bronzer, blush, and highlight with nothing new. I did not get any new products other than a new baked powder blush, the Luminoso from Milani, which I showed you in my skin class video. I will link that right up here for you to go and view. So if you want to see that and how pretty that turned out, then that's great. I'll show you me putting it on just because it is a new product, and we'll see if there's any difference from the old one that I bought like a year ago and this one. Okay, so I went ahead and did bronzer, blush, and highlighter, and then I just used the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Rosy, and I added a little bit to the front with the Coral Cove blush from Milani. And now I will be using the baked blush in the shade Luminoso, and we're gonna test it out because the one that I used in a previous video was pretty old, so we're just gonna see if that's different. I also went ahead and did my lips in the liquid lipstick shade Celebrity Skin from Jeffree Star, and I went ahead and filled in my eyebrows using my new eyeshadow palette, which we'll talk about in just a minute. But I am just gonna take a big fluffy brush that I use to highlight, and I am swirling it around in the Luminoso color, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's definitely still my favorite color. And we are just gonna be applying it to the cheeks, and this side does not have any on. Can you see the difference in that shine? It is absolutely gorgeous, and like I said, it just helps to achieve that skin glass look. And I just push it all the way up and then a little bit down my nose, and I feel like it just helps it look very fresh. I will take a powder brush and just swirl it in and just kind of dust off the amount of blush that I have on because I absolutely love it, and I will just do way too much in that. And now I am going to be priming my eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, and I just have like another small one of this because I love this primer. And I just swipe a little bit on and then blend it out with my finger, or you can blend it out with a sponge, whichever you would like to do. You can use an eyeshadow brush, but I just make sure that it's really, really on there. And this to me just helps my eyeshadow last so much longer. Certain eyeshadows don't work okay with it. Another great recommendation, if you don't want to spend, I think it's like $30 for a full size, $13 for the smaller one. I recommend getting the smaller one because you will run out a little bit faster. That's supposed to be the travel size, but it lasts me a really long time, especially because I just use a tiny bit and then blend it out. If you want a good dupe for that, the e.l.f. like eyeshadow primer, I think it's like Locket primer or something from the drugstore, I think it's $3, so that is a really good alternative for you. So now we are gonna go in with the brand new Naked palette, the Wild West palette from Urban Decay, and I'm trying to get my ring light not to pick up on the sheen. So this is what it looks like. It is so, so pretty. It has so many pretty shades. It has such a large range of cool shades to lighter shades to warm shades. These beautiful, beautiful like transition shades here. And then you have two glitters. It's like a shimmery glitter. It has little flecks of glitter in it, but it doesn't show up that much on the eye. And then you have the beautiful teals, the darker red shades, orange, and then gray and dark blue. So I think that this is a really good range for you to be able to do a lot of color. And of course, in every Naked palette, there is a double-sided brush, so you can have a fluffy ended side so you can really blend your shadows, and then a smaller side to pack on those shadows. So now that this is dry, I'm gonna go ahead and start my eyeshadow look for today. So I am going to start with the transition shade Spur, and I will go ahead and link, like, I'll put little pictures up on the screen and show you which colors that I'm using, so that way I don't have to keep holding up the palette. But this is a really pretty, like, soft, I would say it's like a vanilla shade. It's not really orange, it's not too yellow, but it's a good mix in between those two. And I am just putting that right into the crease. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And you guys know that I always fast forward you through all of my eyeshadow looks because I take a really long time just sitting here and blending them together. So I will be doing that today, and I will let you know when I switch colors. This color looks so pretty on. I think you can definitely leave it alone, but I'm going for a little bit more of a darker look, so I'm gonna switch to the orangey brown shade called Ghost Town in the palette, and we're just gonna pack that into my crease as well and then blend it out. Back in and adding that Spur color right into the front of the crease, so that way we can line it up a little bit, because I used too much of the other color and I think that it definitely was lost. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the color Whiskey. It's that really pretty, like, reddish brown color. It's like a pretty deep brown, and I'm going to be applying it right to the spot that's on the outer portion of my lid, and we are just blending down. This is a technique that I just started doing, and it just provides so much more definition. I think it's so, so pretty. So we are going to go ahead in and concentrating that color right through here to deepen it up a little bit. I'm going back in with a tiny bit of that ghost town color right up here in the center because I think I lightened it up too much. And then I'm taking another fluffy brush that doesn't really have anything on it, and then I am going to blend that all together. Now I am going to be taking this whiter color Standoff, and I am just going to put it right here, almost as an inner corner highlight, but really as a base for the highlight that I'm going to be using today. Now I will be taking the color Cowboy Rick, which is a beautiful sparkly silvery color, and we are going to be really amplifying that highlight shade right here in the inner corner. This is such a beautiful, beautiful color. I think this all over the lid with the teals and grays would really, really be pretty. And just to deepen up that color a little bit on the outer portion of the lid, I will be using the color Pony Up, which is like a deeper gray color. And we are only putting that right here towards the lash line. We're not going up where the darker brown was before. Now we are going to add Hold 'em right here, and I'm just using this brush first. We're gonna put down the spur color again, right where the base is that we would like to go. That creates the shape that we want for that. And then I am going to go into this beautiful Hold 'em gold sparkly shadow, and we are going right here. And now, because I want to use almost every color in the palette for you today, we are going to be taking Text, the beautiful darker teal shade, and I'm going to run it right under my lash line. I'm just using a really tiny brush to be able to do that. And I'm tapping off the excess. And you have to be careful with blues and greens right up underneath your eye, because if it drops down and you go in and try to wipe it off, it can make you look like you have a really bad dark circle. So definitely tap your excess off and then go in. These perform beautifully. Like, this is probably one of the quickest eyeshadow looks that I've ever done. Okay, so now I'm taking the Ghost Town color again, and I am just blending it right up under that Text color. I don't want to mix the two together because they are very different colors, but I want it to work with the eye look. So as you can see on this side, I did the same thing up under here, and so it just adds like a little bit more dimension to your eye look. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the Stila Glitter and Glow shadow in the shade Kitten Caramel, which is 420C, and this is my favorite one from them. I do like the e.l.f. glitter eyeshadows, however the component, the way that they made it, you really can't get all of the eyeshadow out, and so I keep spending $5 over and over again, and I think that this one's gonna last me longer. Plus, these sometimes can be found at Marshall's for about $8, which is good, but I just went ahead with my Ulta haul and picked up one. So I'm gonna go right here a little bit over that gold just to make it a tiny bit more sparkly. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side This is such a pretty like champagne-y color, but I don't necessarily want to lose that gold color. So like I said, you can add these over any eyeshadow just to amp up your look a little bit. Now I'm gonna go in with mascara and eyeliner, and I'll be right back to show off the finished look. Okay guys, so this is going to be the finished look today. I also have picked up another Lash Princess mascara by Essence, and this is around $4 or $5 and is definitely my favorite. I love the way that my eyes look and how I was able to incorporate most of the colors in the palette. The teal is reading like a little bit like a darker black color on the bottom lash, but if you get up close to me or in person, I feel like you would be able to see it. But yeah, this is gonna be it for today. I hope you guys like this video. If you do have Ulta favorites that aren't really trending right now or haven't been all over YouTube, little hidden gems that you have found, definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know. Be sure to hit that like button if you like this video and hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe to my channel, and I want you to make sure that you see all of the videos that I post every single Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next one.